We are here at the world famous World Gym in San Jose, Costa Rica. So excited to kickstart the 2023 Muscle Camp, the camp we have termed the Warrior Camp. Gentlemen from all around the world, executives, entrepreneurs, athletes, and just incredible human beings are coming to join us to ultimately access their warrior. We're going to work them as hard as we possibly can in the most intelligent way they've ever worked in their life, teaching them everything they need to know to optimize their body and their mind going into 2024. We've got 3 days of the most impressive training coming at you. Stay tuned to enjoy this just annihilation of these 21 gentlemen from all around the world. The intention for right now is we're going to do some breath work, and then I'm going to teach you ultimately a deeper level of connection with your body, teaching you end range control, teaching you a deeper level of proprioceptive connection to your body. What that means is I want to feel what's happening inside of my body. If you learn effectiveness now, everything will change for you. Do you know what's really important to teaching muscles how to contract? Lengthening them. If you can take a muscle to its fully lengthened position, it will do the greatest amount of work. Most muscles are strongest in their fully lengthened position. Squeeze the quad harder. Wait, right there. Hold that. Now pull. Right. Keep that.
Hey, I'm Gavin. I'm the head coach at Muscle Intelligence here in Costa Rica for our muscle camp. So clients arrived last night. We've just taken them through a lot of the breathwork stuff this morning. So really getting them engaged mentally and to prepare what's going to come for the next few days, and just showing them how to contract and activate different ranges and how that's going to work with exercises that are up and coming. So this morning we've just done how to activate the hips, which will then lengthen the back of the legs and so on, which will get them ready for deadlifts. So it's kind of getting them to think about movement in a different way, where it's not just going to be load on the bar, it's going to be how do we access these ranges. And that's the foundations, that's the fundamental basics that we need to start with, because if they don't move well, they can't access the ranges and they can't contract the muscles effectively, then they're not actually going to build muscle and get strong. So that's why we start there. So that's the first part of today. And then we're going to basically go through joint by joint, muscle by muscle. Take them through heavier lifting. We're going to take them through hypertrophy work, and we're going to start to look at aerobic conditioning, anaerobic conditioning, just to see where the person needs to start individually. So everybody that comes today and over the weekend, we'll get an individualized map on where they are right now and the exact map on how to progress forward from this 3 days. Exactly how to do it, from cardiovascular work to muscle strength, wherever it's going to be for them, they'll have the exact map from this weekend.
My name is Jeudy Arias. I am based here in Costa Rica, and I was really expecting to participate in this type of muscle camps because I know that it will really change the way that I approach the exercise, the techniques and everything. So I am really looking forward to get a lot of new knowledge from Ben and the team of coaches.
Hi, my name is Vamshi. I'm from New Jersey, US. My goal is to be healthy and longevity. So when I'm old, 90 years, I just want to do stuff like that I'm doing now, right?
We're going to get right into workout number one. It's going to be very neurological in nature. What that means is really going to be strength oriented, really low volume, very low reps, and very heavy. And so what we're doing is we're activating the nervous system. So this is an approach that we take, and we're training people in 2 days, which I would have done during my bodybuilding career, which maybe some pro athletes would do. You really should keep the workout short. They're about 40 minutes and maybe even 30 to 40 minutes. And we're really ramping up the nervous system, so the reps are really, really low. We have 3 exercises. You're gonna pair off with your coach. If your coach isn't here, we have groups already set up for you. I'll tell you what those are. And we're really just gonna try to ramp up the nervous system. Down. Hold it! Sit down. With respect to training, remember, and always remember this, your body is designed to make things easy, right? So when you put a weight in your hand, your body's gonna automatically contort into the position that makes it easiest for you. So if I give you a 100-pound weight and I say, hold this, you don't have to think about it. Your body is gonna move itself into the path of least resistance, the easiest position for it in that moment. So when I put a bar on your back and you're squatting or deadlifting, put a bar in your hands, your body automatically moves into a position that's best for it in the moment. Think of that as a position of strength. And this position, I'm currently strongest. That doesn't necessarily mean it's mechanically the best position. It's just momentarily the most efficient position for the body. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. So if I put a bar on my back and I'm about to squat, what does everyone do? So they just put their hips back because they put their hips under the center of mass. The center of mass is here pushing me down. So if I do this, all of a sudden the bar is going to pull me this way. So if I put my butt back like this, well, my rib cage is open, my butt is back. In that moment, that's a good position for me. But if I start squatting, oh look, I ran into hip mobility here, and I'm going to fall into this position, right? So that in the moment, this is great. But to go through a range of motion, it's not a good setup. So when everyone says, well, stick your butt back when you're squatting, because it's a terrible cue. So what we should be doing when we squat is like, I want my pelvis and my rib cage to be braced. Every single thing we do is from what we call structural balance. Not this, it's not this. This is neutral spine. So my pelvis is aligned under my rib cage. They're vertically aligned, like a soda can, right? Like a pop can on top of each other. If I do this, this is unstable. If I do this, this is unstable. I want them to be balanced. So everything I do starts from this position. Whether I'm laying on my back, standing up, doesn't matter. It starts in this position. The glutes are braced, the abs are braced. So the ab pulls up from the front, the glutes pull down in the back. So it's braced from here. And then my position is I'm just literally gonna sit between my feet. Try to keep a neutral spine and a neutral pelvis. That's it. And every single exercise moves from that position. Everything. So if I'm doing a dumbbell row, I don't contort my body. Like if I put a 100-pound weight in my hand, my body's gonna go like this. It's my job to go, no, I start from here. I brace this, I row from here, not this. Right? You see a lot of guys this afternoon are gonna start doing stuff like this. Like, no, right? So just remember, everything you do starts from here, which is why this morning, what did we do? We started with this, because everything we did starts here. I want you guys to be able to access this position and keep it. Boom, no matter what I do, bench press, done. Overhead press, done, right? Everything is from this neutral spine. Objective of this camp is to make it as actionable as possible. There's very little theory. I want you guys to leave here going, I did a bunch of cool stuff, I learned a bunch of cool stuff, and I applied it. And now I know how to apply it back to my life. There's no value in me standing up here with a PowerPoint and going, hey guys, here's some theory, and you're gonna leave, right? We do that with our certifications, we do that with some other camps around the world, but for this one specifically, we have a beautiful place. We're in one of the most beautiful places in the world. Let's spend some time outside, let's get to know each other, let's have some kick-ass workouts, and learn how to connect to our body so we can apply it for the rest of our lives. That's really what the warrior and the monk is about, right? The reason we start in the morning with like connecting to your body, like I want you to connect deeply to your breath, feeling the inside of your body. It's called interoception. It's because I want to apply that now. So when you're training, most people come into the gym and they're thinking about what's here. Like I need to move this thing from here to here. And I want you to disregard that completely. And I want you to put all of your attention to what's here. Like what am I actually trying to do? Right? If I'm trying to build my pec, it means I'm trying to challenge my pec. Yeah? If I'm trying to challenge my pec, the first thing I should do is, well, what does my pec do? Right? Let's understand that. It's really not hard. Every muscle in the body has two ends. One end is at the midline of the body. It's called the origin. One end is at the outside of the body. It's called the insertion, right? It's away from the midline of the body. So we find the insertion of your pec. Everybody go ahead and do this with me. So your pec line kind of runs out the side where you run up against your rib cage. And you're going to keep poking around in there. You're going to find a point that becomes tendinous. Like a tendon turns into the muscle turns into a tendon, then it attaches to the bone. And you'll be able to feel, do I have long tendons or short tendons? Someone who has short tendons is going to build the muscle more. Someone who has long tendons will build the muscle less, but they'll usually be stronger. So you have very long muscle bellies, it means you build your pecs really well. And so there's 3 letters that I suggest everybody remember when it comes to every single exercise. So when you walk up to the gym, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do any exercise. 3 things to remember. SSI, set up, stabilize, initiate. Those are your 3 things. If I remember how to set up my body to most effectively oppose the resistance, if I stabilize my body effectively, because I want to maximize stability for maximum force output, I want to make sure the muscle I'm working actually is the thing that starts the movement. Just do that. So for today, we're just going to try to stay on the lat, because I think the greatest opportunity for most of us is like, well, I want to build my lat. Your lat's a massive stabilizer of the spine. If we can build our lat, our entire upper body gets bigger. Pecs will get bigger, delts will get bigger, arms will get bigger, because it stabilizes the shoulder blade so much.
Use this one. Put around on there. Get your set up first. So Bamsi's got his arm here. It's going to come back. So just take this leg off the floor, and we want to get stable through the hip. So we don't want any rotation through the hip. We want this stable. And chest up a little bit more. Okay. Now toe down. Pushing this. Can you feel the stretch through this hip? Yeah. So we want a nice stretch. Straight first. Then you bend. Come back down. Contract as you stretch through. So get a good stretch down. Let the shoulder blades go down. Reach forward, and then squeeze out as you come back. Reach your shoulder blades down. Good, 2 seconds. Pull it in slow. Pause. Contract the pecs first. Now move. There you go, much better. And again.
Five minutes of hell.
2 words to sum it up, holy shit, and well worth it. You get a pump in the legs and really taxes the cardiovascular system. So I'm happy I did it, and I'm gonna continue to recover now.
Some of the best training I've ever received.
How do you feel?
I feel powerful. I feel very stretched and very balanced.
Think you push your limit? Well, how much more you got? 0.
Come on!
That fucking sucks.
Leg's gonna rip open. The skin is gonna tear. Go! Go on, 5 seconds! Go as hard as you can! As hard as you can! That's what I like.
Terrible. Fucking terrible.
At this moment, I feel like I have pushed my limit.
Okay, so day 1 is a wrap. We've had a fantastic day with all the members here. So we hit chest and back today. So we went through a lot of anatomy, showing them how to really contract and engage with the chest muscles, the back muscles, and then obviously putting that into action on the gym floor in different varying exercises so they can take that home and apply that into their gyms and their programs. We ended the day with aerobic testing as well. So there's a specific test that we utilize, which allows us to see exactly how to program output work for them individually and which energy systems they need to really focus on and work on. So everything today was planning exactly how to map them forward after this weekend. But everybody had some great effort. Everybody worked hard. Everybody learned something new. And it was great to see everybody's effort in today. Tomorrow, similar, a few different tests aerobically, but we have legs. So tomorrow's going to be a bit of a game changer for a few people. We're going to access a few new ranges. They're going to work very hard, and I'm excited to see them tomorrow. So can't wait. See you all soon.
Posture is maybe the most important thing when it comes to breathing, because if I'm slouched, what's happening to my diaphragm? What's happening to my lower lobes of my lungs? They're compressed. This air doesn't flow there, right? So we need to be erect to allow air to flow down into our thorax effectively, right? So especially when we're squatting, especially when we're deadlifting, if we're slouched, the air can't flow there, especially if your diaphragm is weak. So the diaphragm that's very strong can pull that air down nice and low, but many of us have a weak diaphragm and it can't pull the air down. So a simple practice like this allows us to be more effective at squatting and deadlifting and literally everything we do including just daily posture. Let it all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. Go as much as you can. If it's 30, 40, 60 second exhale, that's perfect. Get it all the way out. Relaxing the body. When you get it all the way out, you're gonna hold it on the way out. Don't breathe in, hold it. Hold it as long as you can.
My name's Steve. I'm with Muscle Intelligence, one of the coaches. Today we have leg day. It's gonna be an exciting day. We're starting with some breath work. It's more specific towards trying to unlock mobility of the lower half.
You should start to feel the side body a little bit lengthening. Don't lose the glute, contract the glute.
In the first workout today, we're doing more neurological activations, so things like squatting, lunging, and these things are gonna help prime for the later workout, which is more hypertrophy focused. Later on, it's more about reps, trying to teach the clients how to get deep activation so they can really benefit their muscular hypertrophy. And then going into some alactic conditioning work, which is just 10 seconds, full throttle, exhaustive work. People are gonna love it. It's gonna be a great day. One more time. Go, up, up! Yes, walk it in.
Good set, good set. Good set. That's a nice 10 RM. It's not a 5 RM.
Yeah, depending on how your body expresses itself under load. So if I put a weight on your back, your body's gonna do this. We make adjustments to your posture based on what we see for you. So there's no universal cueing. In powerlifting, when you have a maximum load on your back, you're just trying to create the greatest circumference you possibly can, because the bigger the circumference, the more unbendable the core, the more you can transfer load through the floor into the bar, right? So with you guys, it's slightly different. We're not necessarily going for maximum circumference, which is the powerlifting. We're looking for like, how can we ultimately create the ideal posture to allow you to go through the ideal range of motion? It's different. So powerlifting, I would just almost exclude the thought process because it's completely different than what we're doing mechanically. So if I'm watching somebody squat and they could squat, let's say I put 500 pounds on my back and I'm vertically stacked. So meaning my ear, my shoulder, my hip, my knee, and my ankle is stacked. Everything is stacked through my skeleton. As soon as I start to diverge away from this center of mass, so I'm moving my hips away, my chest away, all of a sudden the muscles that cross those joints, the glutes in this case, have to work, and all the muscles in my spine have to work. So if I still have that 500 pounds on my back and I'm going like this, that weight, there's a huge amount of distance from that weight to all those spinal segments and my hips. You guys see that? If I have this 500 pound bar on my back, it's here. Now all these vertebrae and these discs have a huge amount of distance. Therefore, like the idea of distance, the more the distance, the more the load, or the more the force. So I saw him squatting and it kind of looked like this. And he's getting good depth, but his back is very much like almost horizontal. So what is my cue? I'm like, hey, it's not that it's wrong. It's like mechanically he's got longer femurs and maybe not so great ankle mobility. So it's like, based on what I see there, he's the candidate for injuring his back on squats all the time. He's the candidate to go, I shouldn't squat ever again because I'm not a good squatter, or squatting doesn't work for me. That's what you kind of hear, which is complete horseshit, by the way, for everyone. Like I've worked with guys who are 6'9" and they squat like babies. You just got to find out how they squat effectively. So with Dave, I was like, hey Dave, watch this. If we squat like this, and all I did was put like a 3-inch elevation under his heels. So all of a sudden he's squatting like this. Right, so I put a little elevation in his heels. I go a little more, all of a sudden he's squatting like this. So we can change the orientation of somebody's spine based on how much. So really the way he squats is a factor of the length of the upper leg in proportion to the length of the lower leg. So if the upper leg is longer, the lower leg is slightly shorter, his hips have to drive further back or he's gonna fall over. So his upper leg is slightly longer, so it ends up looking like that. Like, okay, so as a coach, I'm like, I just need to change the proportion of the upper leg to the lower leg. If I change the proportion by adding a heel elevation, all of a sudden it's like, oh, now you can squat more vertically.
Push your pelvis and your knees towards your heels. Re-lengthen the spine up. Externally rotate more.
Again, close that knee joint. Close that guy down, okay?
Get up! Let's go!
Come on, you got the whole crowd. Let's go. Come on. Go. Let's go. Come on, boss. Let's go. Up. Let's go.
Up he goes. Go.
Squeeze it. Squeeze that. Yeah. Okay, last rep. Same thing as him. Okay, up. Up. Contract fast. Good. Do it again. Go. Get up. That's it. Good. Lock it up. There you go. Come on, hit 6 for 2 more, we'll take some weight off. Let's go.
Got this shit, let's go. Get up. You tell me this. Good up. Good. Give it up. Yeah.
Lower back, and then the focus on the way up is all here. Even the way down is all here.
People don't realize, like, it's not just actually that really matters. It's the metabolic stress that comes with it. Meaning the tension really starts applying to the motion when you achieve that fatigue. And when does that happen? Is that on the first rep?
Come on, Derek. Come on. See, there's strength in numbers. We move as a unit. We're in this together. We're brothers in iron. We never leave a man behind. Together we make it do the work, and alone we couldn't do it. But together the strength in numbers.
I'm measuring success in our group with like, well, how many sets did we actually take it to, you know, fly close to the sun, so to speak. And every one of the guys had, you know, in every exercise we had at least one. And that's the goal. That should be a goal for everybody, right? Because it's not easy to give your body and mind the freedom and the courage to just go. You need to have precision of execution, breathing needs to be in control, mind needs to be in control. So every one of my guys had amazing sets, and Trevi did great. This morning, just crushed it. This afternoon on the hack squat. He's definitely an unreasonable man.
It's one thing to be working with a trainer and to be pushed to that certain level. And you push me to different levels that I can't ever push myself. But as we train as individuals, or as we train in our own environment, how do we push ourselves to those levels? One, I think, you know, Mackenzie mentioned the word safety, but, you know, feeling safe in that environment is one thing. But two, to be able to push, you know, and I talked to Gareth about every rep being intentional. And just like we did on the one leg drive out there in the grass of like treating, you told me before, you know, treat everything like it's 100 pounds or 500 pounds, regardless of what the weight is. But, you know, how, or what are your keys to be able to help us to be able to take how we work out here as a group, you know, with having everybody supporting you in your own environment, in your own gym, to be able to reach max potential?
The reason we start the week and the day with breath work, presence, and intentionality is because the more present you can be with everything you do, the more you can start to explore the perimeters, right? You can start to explore the perimeters of how hard can I push? How hard can I push safely? So that needs to be your first kind of acid test, the first kind of door to walk through, right? What am I capable of? What can I do safely? Right, the first step. The next way to think of it in my mind is like everything we do is a skill. So learning how to work hard is a skill. Learning how to work hard in specific exercises is a skill. So the more you get better at specific exercises, the more you start to become familiar with, I know where my perimeter is. So as you start to get closer to the perimeter, what do? You don't go faster. You slow down and you go, am I safe? Can I keep going? Am I safe? Can I keep going? And that's why our cue is always, you're safe, keep going. You're safe, keep going, right? This is our kind of, I'm sure most of the guys use a universal cue because your brain's looking for safety. Your brain's either looking to stop or looking for safety. So if we give you safety, we're like, hey, keep going. Don't change anything, just keep going. If you can't do that, if you don't have somebody there with you as an intelligent training partner, which Lord knows is not easy to find, but you can teach them how to do it. But if you don't have that, you have to do it yourself and go, am I safe? Can I keep going? Am I safe? Can I keep going? Just constantly take inventory, which requires slowing down, being present, being intentional. So one way to separate exercises is I separate exercises into output and skill acquisition. So everything is in skill acquisition, but if there's ones that I can do really well unconsciously, like I'm really good at this, I can just work on this, then I'm gonna push on that one. Because I know like form's not gonna break, right? My effort's gonna give before the form breaks down. Whereas these other ones, I'm like, I'm not so good over here yet. I don't feel so comfortable with that yet. Well, then I don't really fly close to the sun, so to speak, on those ones, right? I just do it on these ones where I'm like, I know I can go on this one. I feel safe. A leg extension is a good example. A lying leg curl is a good example. Most people aren't going to hurt themselves on that. Whereas if it's a free squat, you're like, hack squat. Most people can do that pretty well, right? So you got to kind of, I just categorize it in your mind. Like, am I able to put this in the output column where I could just freely get after it? Or is this going to go into the skill acquisition column where I should maybe progress a little, slow down the intensity a little bit, and be super present and conscious?
So one thing that I wanted to say was, I was always used to be scared of I would hurt myself, right? Because I know that I need to be safe, but I don't know what is the safest thing to do, right? So my safest thing was always to reduce the weight, right? And always focus on the form. But today, after that activity in the morning, right, where we activated the glutes and everything, my level of confidence has I would say quadrupled, right? So when I went into those sets, I went in with a lot more confidence. And I that's what I was telling yesterday, right? Like, I'm more excited today for the leg workout because I know that I get to learn a lot of things, right? So if I wanted to fail, I wanted to fail here, not at home. Like, even if I have to be injured or like towards the direction, I wanted to be here. So there is people to correct because I know that I'm in safe environment, right? So now I can take this back and I can push myself hard.
So apparently, anger is a great motivator for me. I learned that about myself today. No, but I've been genuinely shocked at like how much further I can push myself than I ever thought. Same thing with when we started with just 90 pounds. I was like, oh yeah, that's it. That's great. That's money. That's as far as I can go. And then you just kept throwing them on, and I did it, and I didn't get injured, which is absolutely wild to me. Like yesterday, we were doing deadlifts. And I lifted more than I absolutely could. Like, it was not going to happen. And I tried it, and nothing broke, which blew my mind because I've hurt myself on deadlifts before.
Yeah, it was actually really cool seeing you pull that because when he was doing that, guys, he was tight. He was on his form, and he actually went to a weight where he couldn't lift, right? But what happened? It just didn't go up. Nothing changed. His form was just tight, and then that was it. And a lot of people think that for some reason, if it's a squat, bench, or dead, it's like, if you can't lift it, like somehow the system just breaks apart. It's like, imagine if that was in hypertrophy, if you couldn't do a bicep curl, then snap. That's not how it should be, right? Like, that would be horrible. So like, obviously, like you were able to execute upon the things you learned, and you felt really stable and safe to the point where you could actually exert enough that's like, okay, this is just above me, I'll back down, we'll start doing some work again, right?
Yeah, it's been a game changer for me.
Yeah, this morning, just with your coaching, so like my PR on a squat, back squat was 285 for 1 rep. And I usually have low back pain afterwards. This morning, I did for 5 reps, and like my low back is fine.
Yeah.
And then, I did it this afternoon, did hack squat, and I still feel fine. And so it's just like, believing that I'm safe, like do the proper bracing, set up correctly, like you're fine. You're just fine.
Yeah. Well, you did really well, and this can work for everybody, by the way, is taking space, especially when it's a skill-heavy motion like a squat or deadlift, is just takes the space between the reps. It's more about execution, and then making sure that you're able to display strength and form and all that kind of stuff. In terms of the squat, like pelvic stability, like bracing, your positioning, making sure you can center masses go down, and like this stuff takes time. You're not gonna be able to rush it. And if you ever see somebody just popping up and down, it's like, okay, well, either they're amazing, I've done this for years, like they're Mr. Pakulski over here, or they don't know what the hell to do it. And it's just because you should see some kind of level of intentionality. It's like brace, breathe, tighten up, and do it again. Because like that's what you're really trying to do is express strength, right? So good job. It's off again.
One of my challenges in working out forever has been understanding proper technique. This weekend, I've gotten a lot of that from the instruction I've gotten from Chris and Dan as well. And through the technique and understanding that, it built confidence in my abilities to do things that, 1, I've never done before, or 2, that I've done but never felt that I did it well. But getting the information was a key for me.
If there's a tagline you want to take with you when you go back to the gyms, I say it all the time to the boys, form over failure. Form over failure every time. Make sure you know what the form is, you can apply it every time through before you fail and your body breaks down. So I'm glad you got that.
If the camp ended today, would you guys all say it's been worth your trip down to Costa Rica? And just a shout out to you for working so hard. Just be prepared to go equally as hard tomorrow. One or two of the workouts will be easy, but one or two of the workouts will be very, very challenging. We're going to find different ways to challenge you guys tomorrow. And it's a different direction. So I always talk about effort is directional in nature, right? Because like I can work hard in meditation. Ultimately, working hard, sometimes sitting in meditation that's hard work. But I can also work hard in a squat. I can also work hard on a 5-minute bike ride. I can also work, right? And there's different levels of effort. So tomorrow we'll find a new one and teach you guys that you have so many more dimensions that you realize that you're capable of.
Hey everybody, so this is finishing up day 2 now. It's awesome. What a great day. Started off the day with a lot of neurological activation work with like some heavy lifting. Saw a lot of guys break some records. It was really, really cool. In the second part of the day, we went into some hypertrophy work for legs, which was obviously a ball buster. It was really cool to see the guys push their limits though. What was awesome was seeing every single one of the clients that works with us, they all pushed further than they thought they could. We have this phrase in muscle intelligence where we want to try to find a 5th gear or access a different level of possibility for what we can do to our bodies and push our limits. Every single one of our clients did that today. It was just awesome. My takeaway, honestly, is just, once you learn how to effectively work hard, you can do that for yourself. And obviously it's within everybody's grasp. We got to make sure that we give the clients the opportunity to do that. So it was a great day. It was really cool. And I'm just looking forward to seeing these guys push their limits.
I am Dan Smith. I'm a coach here at Muscle Intelligence, just giving you guys a breakdown of what's happening on day 3. So we've reached the final day. So today's going to be a little bit more metabolic, a little bit more aerobically challenging. So this morning is going to be based around a metabolic workout that's going to get the heart rate up and really challenge kind of the aerobic and the anaerobic system. Then we're going to go into a modified strongman this afternoon, which again is going to challenge a raft of different systems over the course of the weekend. So we've done a lot of hypertrophy work in the first couple of days. We're now taking it a little bit more metabolic, and we're going to finish off the day with a little bit of shoulders and arms. Inclusive of that, the morning's comprised a little bit more of the breath work, so really resetting the system and getting everybody ready for the day. And then from a talk perspective today, we're going to operate with a little bit more nutrition and really tie everything together of everything we've taught over the weekend. So today's going to really wrap up everything that we've been speaking about and really bring everything together to give the students a lot of usable information to go away and work with. Also today, what we're going to be doing is essentially going to be breaking down a little bit of the complexes. So when the students are short on kit, if they're traveling, if they're in hotels, and they've only got a few sets of dumbbells available, today we're going to be showing them a few different methodologies to really make the most of limited kit as well. So bringing everything together on this final day. So I think the main words of today is working really hard, and you're going to see a lot of intensity and a lot of energy today. So we've just wrapped up the first metabolic workout, and there's a lot of heavy breathing and a lot of sweat piling out today. So the first one was a real success. Guys did 3 exercises working for 12 minutes straight with a 3-minute gap in between. A lot of hard work, a lot of power required, but the guys got through it really well. There's going to be a few hungry bellies ready for lunch today. This afternoon is going to be more about shoulders and arms, and then we're going to finish off with a little bit more metabolic component at the end. But yeah, great work from the guys this morning. More of the same this afternoon.
The workout kicked my ass. It was extremely tough. It was well worth it, though. We got pushed, and I think we all had a great time doing it.
I think I have my limits physically and mentally and everything. It's completely gassed, but 100% worth it. Yeah, love it.
To have such a motivating group of people who will not quit on their own and then just motivate you to be your best, and having been in the group too, just fucking rocking back and forth, the motivation definitely pushes you to the next level, to injury and beyond.
Training went awesome. I definitely pushed to the limit, but I feel recovered. I think the breath work this morning allowed me to kind of get in and out of the states that I needed to be in, to kind of collect myself from panic down to calm. I can do this, I can rest, and yeah, it's been amazing.
A group of guys standing behind you, yelling and screaming and cheering for you, and it just makes it that much easier, even though it's not, but it gives you that extra edge to keep pushing. And it was insane. It was intense.
All right, so we just finished an insane metabolic workout. I am torched, tired. I feel really, really good. We had a very good breath work session beforehand, so that really prepared my CNS and my cardiovascular system, and that made a huge difference. Not only did that make a difference, but the variable of just camaraderie, the people that were here. I was blessed and lucky enough to have my dad to challenge me and to push him, for us to challenge each other, and it just took it to a whole nother level. So couldn't have done it without Ben and his team and my coach, Chris Fudge, just setting the foundation, setting the tone, and allowing us to just really ride that wave all the way to the end, and super grateful to be a part of all of this experience.
I have never done anything like this before. Coming here was way out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to push myself and do something new. Coming here has definitely accomplished that, and it has exceeded my expectations. It's been an incredible experience.
So we just got done an extremely challenging workout, and as we've continued to say throughout this time, strength in numbers. And it's just really incredible the way that we all push each other and therefore accomplish something that presumably we didn't think we could, and all of us pushing towards the same collective goal. And that's why camps like this are so effective, because they allow us to expand and push our limits, and then that will translate outside of the gym. And I can't stress it enough, at least for myself, in the way that the mental toughness created in an environment like this will immediately translate to the requisite mental toughness necessary to succeed outside of the gym environment, in life, in business, in our personal life, in all aspects of conquering what we expect out of ourselves. That can be extremely effective.
Yeah, this weekend has been just an awesome, cathartic, experience. Just being around a group of individuals that just believe in health and wellness and fitness, and just pushing yourself to your limits, and realizing that even we don't know what those limits are, and using this just the spirit of community to and brotherhood, and just to be able to push each other, to support each other, and to just grow as just individuals. It's a beautiful experience. Definitely something that I wish everybody could experience. And definitely not the last time I'll come here. But yeah, it's just been an awesome experience.
One of my favorite things to do at these camps is push you in different directions. So you guys went from a meditation to a deep breath work to a hard metabolic work, all within the span of about an hour. And so you're pushing the perimeters of your personality, right? So you're realizing you're capable of some interesting things. And I love this idea of the multidimensional man, So multidimensional man can be soft, can be hard, can be aggressive, can be compassionate, all at choice. I will. So none of these emotions that were thrown throughout the day is good or bad. It's contextually, where am I applying this thing, right? Doing training like that is not bad. Meditation is not good or bad. It just is. But how do I learn to use it when I need it, and not when I don't, right? Yeah. So as a man, we want to wield our sword, right? We want to wield our strength, but not at the wrong times. That's actually when we talk about what muscle intelligence is. When I first wrote kind of what this business is about, It's like exploring outside the walls we set in our minds. That's what I'm like, that's what this business started as for me. Like, we create these walls in our brain, like we live inside these walls, and I'm like, hold on a minute, how do I learn to explore outside of these walls? So it's breaking down the walls. And one of my greatest mentors, one of the first times I met him, maybe third or fourth time I met him, he's like, hey, stop. Question everything you think you know. And I was like, oh, like all those things you believe, what if none of them are true?
This is my first true muscle camp, but Ben just always taught to some of the sessions, it's like, hey, what's your threshold for stress? And you always just keep increasing whatever your threshold is to the point where you kind of deflect it and you expect a certain amount of stress in your life. And so muscle intelligence for me and the physical side has just always been able to give me a tool that I understood that I could just keep inflating my own personal thresholds for being able to handle whatever is coming at me. So I don't think I get there mentally without working really, really hard physically. So you come out here and you find like, hey, I can get to another level physically. You go back into the real world, and this is probably the takeaway for everybody in the MI team, is that I've got to become the best example that I can possibly be, as a man, and it's got to include everything. I want to be fit. I want to be a great parent. I want to contribute to my community. Business-wise, I want to be able to crush it. And importantly, I want the people that I'm associated with and the causes that I care about kind of learn the tools. So we were talking about the emotion. My default thing that I learned through MI was you just haven't been taught yet how to do it. And there's always a way, and it's just it's a big, I call it a hack, in a way. But I feel very privileged to be a part of this community. So thank you.
Question 1 for Ben is, when our guys are trying to grow, what's the best way to get calories in for hypertrophy? Question 2 for Greg, when our guys are trying to cut and they leave home and maybe they forget their food, or they have to eat on the run, what would be some good ideas for them to still be like in a caloric deficit or be lean? So question 1, Ben, grow. Question 2, lean.
As you guys can imagine, during my bodybuilding career, at 320 pounds, at 5% body fat, the calories I had to consume were enormous. So my average daily was like 7,500, and this is mostly clean, like 95% clean. Like if I wasn't clean, my biggest cheat would be like I'd have these massive bowls of oatmeal with like berries and cinnamon and maybe some protein powder. That would be like a cheat, right? Just because of the number of calories, it'd be like an enormous number of carbs, which is every day. So like trying to get in 1,000 grams of carbohydrates every day or more. But that was like cheat. So what you learn to do is when you're dieting, you want to consume foods that are slower to digest. So I'll consume foods that are like, I'll consume a steak instead of ground meat. Whereas when I'm trying to get huge amounts of food in, I'm trying to find foods that are faster to digest, faster to pass through the digestive tract. So is it a big difference? For me, it was pretty significant, right? So like I could easily eat a pound of ground meat, whereas eating a pound of steak is a completely different game. Your jaw starts getting tired, you want to eat, I can throw back a bunch of ground meat and add in some digestive enzymes. So one of the biggest challenges when you're getting a huge amount of calories in is like, does my body actually have the capacity to make this amount of acid and enzymes to break this food down, digest, absorb, assimilate, right? So look at the rate of stomach emptying. So as an example, this sounds pretty insignificant, but for me it felt useful. Is like you can have steel cut oats, or you can have like quick oats, and while it seems pretty small, it can be pretty significant in its your ability to consume more of it. So when I'm dieting for a contest where my calories are lower, I'm going steel cut oats, a little more rich, a little slower to digest. When I'm off season trying to get huge amounts of calories, I'm going like quick oats or cream of rice, cream of rice, which is whole grain rice, right? Those are very different. So like, and even something as simple as like, when I'm eating a huge amount of calories, if I'm eating a sweet potato or a white potato, I won't eat the skin because the skin's going to slow down stomach empty because of the amount of fiber. right? So I'm managing my fat intake and my fiber intake when I'm trying to get huge amounts of carbohydrates in, because fat and fiber will slow down stomach emptying. And so I'm going to start trying to pay attention to the rate of stomach emptying. Now, Greg may say, hey man, all that stuff is kind of debunked, or it's not significant. The difference is insignificant. But from my experience, the difference is notable. Like, I want to be hungry again in 2.5 to 3 hours, so I can't consume things that slow down stomach emptying. So I'll never have huge boluses of fat with my carbohydrates. I might have a little bit of fat with my carbohydrates, and I may save my greatest fat meal to the end of the day, right, as an example. Or maybe I would do fat earlier in the day, no carbs and stuff. I just wouldn't do a lot together, basically. So that would be a way to get huge amounts of calories in. So, like, again, summarizing, ground meats over, like, not ground meats, and because it's just less chewing, less work, and digestive enzymes, and then finding foods that are going to have faster rate of stomach emptying. Anything to add to that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and so one other thing is, like, liquid calories. Like, so one thing that I was, like, religious about is sometimes before, but always during and after the workout, I was consuming as many liquid calories as I could stomach and still have a great workout. And that can change. So as an example, you may have like 100 grams of carbs intra-workout and feel horribly. Don't start there. Start at 40. Get used to 40, then go 50, then go 60. Then I used to consume 100 to 120 grams of carbs intra, 100 to 150 grams post carbs, and then a ton of amino acids intra and a ton of whey protein post. So, like, I'm trying to get some calories in those times, intra and post, because my body wants the calories those times, but it's got to be very easy to digest. So carbs and aminos intra with creatine, carbs and whey protein post, again with creatine, maybe glutamine, maybe other stuff. But yeah, so that's probably a good way. And I didn't tend to need carbohydrate pre-workout, but I would always start carbohydrate like pretty soon into the workout, like 15, 20 minutes into the workout. I'd ramp it up, and it seemed to work well for me.
Perfect, right? And that makes sense. So first thing I was going to say, can you skip the meal? So can you make it from, if you're going to work and you have had high protein breakfast, can you maintain that all the way to the evening but breaking your fast with something decent? So the main issue that I tend to see in clients who want to skip meals to control calories, not that that's necessarily the question, but who want to skip meals to control calories, then when they inevitably break the fast, they eat shit, right? Because they've lost control of those hunger cues and everything goes wrong. So if you can skip a meal, it's a great way to do it while you're staying lean, okay? Because it takes choice out of the situation. So for a lot of people, when they're going through dieting phases, it's the preparation of everything that becomes taxing and demanding over time. So if you can just skip a meal, it's great. Otherwise, I would generally I like beef jerky. I like to seek out high protein things first. So whether that's beef jerky, whether that's not ideal, but a lot of the time you can find packs of chicken, packs of beef. These are ideal ways to find high protein meals first. And then I'd normally aim towards some sort of berries and a handful of some sort of nut, right? And that's generally how I would look for those meals.
Personally, the pain I had was migraines. So I've had them probably for 15, probably 20 years now almost. So finally figuring out different things with Greg's help is definitely a gut issue thing. So, out of the 6 pillars, that's been my pillar that needs the most help. I have an easy time getting lean, staying lean, but I have a hard time bulking. But it's my lack of engine is my stomach. Cause me problems, or I'm not able to digest enough to grow, etc. And Greg's been doing a great job helping me with that, and we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's a fascinating one. So Daniel was a fascinating one. Not fascinating for him, obviously. He's been suffering with migraines for 15 years. It's awful. Most people will generally look to energy production with migraines. And that's normally where I would lean. And actually, I'm more than happy to say the mistakes I made with Daniel. We initially looked at it as a digestive problem, and we had really good results initially. And once I thought that problem was solved, I switched up to try and target energy production with him. And just like that, he absolutely fell apart for a week. And we had to pivot back and try and deal with the digestive issue that he had, because he's been through several different functional medicine practitioners. He's had parasites, he's had H. pylori, and now he's got Citrobacter, Klebsiella, overgrowths. So he's been through a lot, and he can't and it's bizarre. So it's not bizarre actually. He can't tolerate high doses of things because they actually trigger the problem. So if you try and kill off the bad bacteria at a very high rate, he'll get a migraine. So do you have to just leave him on those? So it's a really slow, methodical process with him. But he's been relatively clear for how long? A couple of months?
I usually would get him every 3-4 weeks, but it's been a good 2-3 months lately. So that's a great sign. So thank you, Greg.
It was a very tricky one to figure out, but he's been great because at least with certain clients, right, if it doesn't work, it's my protocol because he'll stick to it. So they're the best people to work with because you know what the problem is and you know what works, right? So a lot of the time if I deal with people, whether it's nutrition, whether it's training, whatever it is, if I'm not 100% sure that person sticks to it, I don't really know what works. So how do you make the change in someone? Whether someone's completely honest, I've stuck to everything you said and it hasn't worked, then it's my problem and I got to figure out something else. So it's great. It was great.
And I think just being surrounded by, Ben and his coaches and then seeing how you guys interact with your coaches, I think that they're teaching us way more in life than just what to do in the weight room. And I think that there's a lot of things that I've learned from Ben to be a better person, a better father, a better, better in my work and in my interactions with other people. But he's not only challenged me in the weight room, but also he's challenged me as an individual to be a better person. So I think I see that in all the coaches. I think, one of my philosophies in business was always, if you surround yourself with good people, you hire good people, good things happen. And I think you can see that from Ben's team, that he has surrounded himself with good people, and you can see the results of what have happened when you're around good people. So I would just challenge you guys to take this, and I think I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, is take the things that you're learning in the weight room and apply it to your daily life. The same type of desire, the same type of passion, the same type of willingness to learn, to be disciplined, whatever it may be, wherever your weaknesses are. Trust yourself and believe in yourself and go after it, just like the coaches are. I mean, they trust in you to give you a program and give you something to follow. And the reason why they want videos, and I'm preaching to the choir on this, is so they can actually give you feedback. I never send Ben any videos, and he gets on to me all the time. But sometimes I feel like I'm wasting his time sending him a video, but he begs and says, I need that to make you better. So I think if you can just apply the lessons of what we've talked about these last 3 days, apply the lessons that you've learned in your weekly, meetings with your coaches and through your training in life, that, it'll make things a whole lot better for you as an individual, as a person, and whatever your aspirations and goals are in life.
So I was speaking to the coaches every night, and everything we spoke about was how well everybody did in the day. There's little stories about Zach for 5 minutes went absolutely ballistic on the test. Vamshi was afraid of failing, and then all of a sudden he's got this new gear to push into, But from my client's point of view, I've had videos from John, and I'm giving him feedback. I'm like, you got more in the tank, man. You got to take it up a notch from the videos. And today, for every day I've seen people transform every day. He's doing bicep curls, and he's ready to finish. He's going, one more. So he's got the belief that he can actually do it, but now he's cued into exactly what he needs to do.
Right, guys, so we've just finished day 3. That's the end of the camp. We finished off the back end of this afternoon with shoulders and arms, where the guys really got an opportunity to be put through the paces and really get a great pump before they finish. So that ties us up for today. So we've gone through a little bit of metabolic, some shoulders and arms, and we had a great session this afternoon talking about big takeaways. The good thing about this weekend is every single one of the person that partook in the camp this weekend seems to have really taken a lot of value away from today that they can instantly apply going forward from the minute they leave this place. So all in all, it's been a fantastic weekend. It's been a great 3 days, and every single person that's attended this weekend is going to leave here renewed and really inspired to create the best versions of themselves.
We just wrapped up 3 incredible days of training at the highest levels of arousal that we could possibly access. Men have accessed new levels of aggression, new levels of masculinity, and new levels of confidence that they've never believed was possible. And now we've come into the jungle in Uvita to truly access our inner monk. Someone who can be calm and be the lighthouse in the storm. Man in his life who can show up with peace and control over his emotions and use his warrior when he needs it and use his monk when he needs it. The 3 days we're about to embark on are about connecting with ourselves, understanding our emotions, being able to connect with other incredible men so we can see what we're truly capable of. One of the gifts of muscle intelligence is we say that we see what you're capable of more than you do, and we will push you to new boundaries, both in accessing the warrior so you can truly take charge and lead in your life, and accessing the monk so you can truly connect with what's in your heart and bring that forth in your world, in your family, with your children, and your partners. So gentlemen, get ready to embark on the best 6 days of your life with the Muscle Intelligence team and myself here in Costa Rica. We're doing this by accessing peace of mind, connecting with other men, and ultimately going deep into the things that most men find truly the most uncomfortable, and that's sitting in silence with yourself.
Congratulations.
Sitting in peace, in quiet, in meditation, connecting with other men in community and in ceremony.
I really want to thank Ben, his leadership, and the coaches who has given tremendous amount of support for me throughout this muscle camp. I thoroughly enjoyed each and every moment, each and every person, right? Each and everything that we did in this muscle camp. It was really awesome.
Coming into this trip, I had no idea what to expect. I I had heard stories, but it's been an amazing journey. Just so many awesome experiences. Just starting out with the muscle camp, pushing myself to limits that I didn't think was possible. Being able to work out face-to-face with my coach, realizing just not only is he an epic and remarkable human being, but just like all the coaches here are epic and remarkable people. And yeah, just meeting so many cool, unique, driven, beautiful people, just working out side by side. It's very cathartic experience.
The things that attracted me to Ben were some of the things that he taught from his podcast, the people that he was bringing in, the education side of things. And I think the whole lifestyle of what it means from longevity was really attractive to me. Because I think there's a lot of things that I knew, but I felt like trying to keep myself from injuring myself and trying to keep myself as healthy as possible from, just overall physical strength, from joints, and to be able to live as long as possible is what attracted me to Muscle Intelligence.
I was really kind of nervous to get involved. I thought that, man, there's just no way I could begin to hang or do everything. I'll just get crushed. And that was the biggest stupid fear that I shouldn't have had, because it was like completely the other way around. It's like, how do you make your exercise and workout experience become not just a little bit more effective, but a lot effective? And so I'm such a, very much a work in progress. I mean, we've gone over and like repeated third grade a couple times, but it just completely taught me a new way of connecting with my muscle, mind, and some of the breathing techniques, are just incredible. They just have put me into places that I didn't know I could get to.
Standing in the jungle in Uvita, Costa Rica, having just wrapped up 7 days of the Warrior and the Monk Muscle Intelligence Retreat 2023. Gentlemen, it's been an incredible 7 days, accessing the deepest levels of our Warrior, training as hard as we ever have in the most effective and intelligent way possible. We had 21 men travel from all around the world and converge on San Jose, Costa Rica, one of the most beautiful gyms, one of the most beautiful training facilities we've ever been to, and pushed each other with camaraderie, with discipline, with commitment to personal excellence. We then changed positions, changed gears, and came down to the jungle here in Uvita, connected deeply with breathwork and meditation and plant medicine, connecting deeply with what's inside. The ability to slow down is equally as important as the ability to speed up with direction. Be able to be confident in the direction and the choices you're making in life comes from knowing who you are inside. And if you don't make time in your life to connect deeply with that inner monk, you're going to continually spin that wheel and feel unfulfilled. Gentlemen, if you're ready to access your warrior, if you're ready to access your monk, join me and my incredible team here at Muscle Intelligence as we curate world-class events for people just like you, executives, athletes, entrepreneurs, and just high-achieving men who know there's more, men that don't want to die with the song left inside. You feel that fire burning, we're here to fan it for you. Gentlemen, on muscleintelligence.com, you'll find dates for 2024 camps all around the world, and I would personally like to invite you to apply to join us. If it's right for you, we'd love to have you.